Shanti, yes, the place of peace, Niketan, the home of peace, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free. But actually, people cannot adopt this in everyday life. We are under a custom of a board. We are under a custom of an institution called school, called college. We are under there are so many sub branches to this. And there had been only one Rabindranath Tagore, the first Asian to get the Nobel Prize. One Tagore, and I would wish there would be more who would start with this natural study.
There are two gifts that we should give our children. One is the roots, and the other one is the wings. Today, we are going to talk about children, their development, and their growth in this very special edition of Sip and Talk with Vikram. My guest today is Miss Lagnajita Chatterjee from Mumbai. She is a postgraduate in English, and she has recently authored a book for children. Welcome to Sip and Talk with Vikram, Lagnajita.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the honor. Namaste, hello, good evening to everyone here. One
So
and all.
Lagnajita is a very unusual and a beautiful name. So let's begin with that, Lagnajita.
Yeah, that is in fact correct. I agree. Well, Lagnajita, the word Lagnajita means one who has conquered time. Lagna stands for time in our language, Indian style. So whatever it is, of course, nobody can conquer time. Time and tide wait for none. But it actually reveals that at least I can conquer the bad times, the difficult times that has
Oh,
come.
that's a great thought. That's a great thought.
That might be my parents have chosen this name for me. And yes, and right now in that stress, I've chosen to conquer a few things, few stress busters I've chosen for myself. And this actually has come up, in an overwhelming way in my name through that is Lagnajita.
Oh, that's nice. That's a very lovely explanation of your name.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
So let me show your book to the audience. Or do you also have one to show?
Yeah, sure, I do.
Yeah, please show us.
GOOGLY, IMPU, CHIMPU, and other stories.
So that's a short story book for children, right?
That's a storybook for children, yes, and which has 4 stories. There are a few illustrations also. And the first story is googly. It's actually a name of a food. I being from West Bengal, so there is a food, a snail named googly. So it's named after that.
All right. Let me show the viewers where your book is available.
Yeah, sure.
It is here on Amazon. Googly, IMPU, CHIMPU, and other stories. So, Lagnajita, coming to children, children are the best source for busting stress, it is said. But of late, we see that children are also getting stressed. Why?
There are varied reasons. First of all, I'll start actually, the barriers, the solitude that has created a barrier. It has encircled our lives, not only children, but adults also. Especially when I talk about children. Nuclear family, a house that is called 1 BHK, 2 BHKs. This BHK is, I don't know what anonymous is. It's in our mind, it works, no space for the fresh air to come in the sense that fresh thoughts don't creep inside children's minds. They don't always understand this, but slowly when they get into difficulties, into depression, they become introvert. They cannot share their difficulties with the most important people in their lives, that is their parents. Actually, we understand that they are stressed, and this leads parents also into more stress. And most of the times, they don't know the way of getting out of it. But I don't think it is that difficult if we just make those children aware, because they are technologically very tech savvy, they're very, efficient, they're smart at it handling them. Only missing part is they're not aware. The moment parents and neighborhood and society, they play a role in making them aware of few things, like their own root, their origin, their native town, their native villages, talking about their grandparents' childhoods. This will surely give them a lot of scope of getting out of this barrier. Even if I stay in one room, I can move around with imagination to a number of places. The children can dance, the children can play, the children can do a lot of things, still being inside a room and not thinking that I am depressed, I lack so and so. Rather, there will be positive stress, there will be positive effect.
So as you rightly said that, stories of grandparents, stories of parents, stories, real stories from all around, and that is why you came into storytelling. So briefly walk us through your book, what it contains for the children.
I would say Albert Einstein here, quoting him. He said that logic will take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. So I've just tried to break the shackles of logic and get inside the path of imagination. You can easily imagine a leaf to be in pink color. You can easily imagine the grass to be brown, and so on and so forth. Just knock the doors of your imagination. Again, next is if I talk about Charlie Chaplin. He used to say the greatest icon, he had come out of poverty and then he was the icon of comedy. Though there were silent films in those days, yet he had made it out. He made his own name, he made his own acclaim. And then he also says a day without laughter is a day wasted. So these two together, humor and laughter, I just tried to blend these spices. I've given the spice, little spice of imagination, little spice of humor, little spice of cardamoms. You can say little spice of, lime together, little spice of sugar, salt, lime makes a beautiful juice. Just the spice of imagination and laughter together will make the stories, I think, lovable to all.
And Charlie Chaplin, the way he even depicted poverty in his films,
Yes,
even without those words, you could read the expressions on his face and
yes,
the way
exactly.
he used to come out. So a lot of visual impact makes it through your heart, and that's what you have brought out in your book through illustrations and
Illustrations,
yeah,
yes.
and I'm told that your little daughter also helped you with creating those illustrations.
She
So
is
tell
in
us about
class
that.
one. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
yeah, amazing.
so she has tried to help her mother. She was also overexcited. And as I said that in this currently, our minds are stressed. I have just tried to use that stress in a positive way. In our Indian culture, Indian societies, a positive stress is marriage. An example is a wedding that we have in families. Wedding is, of course, a positive stress. So instead of that, right now, we cannot even attend those. Some weddings have been postponed also.
Yeah.
So I have rather taken this writing, my imagination into thoughts and put them down into words, and words made sentences, and sentences put me more fun. I walked with imagination, I talked with imagination, I dreamt, I slept, I ate, I looked, just did imagination. It's my best friend, I can say.
So, viewers, I hope you are enjoying this conversation with us and stay tuned till the end of this video. And those who are watching us for the first time, please subscribe and hit the bell icon, stay notified, and do write in your comments. They encourage me immensely. Thank you so much. Coming back to Lagnajita, Lagnajita, every child is an artist. Imagination is just the beginning of creation. So, how can we help the children to scale up their imagination?
That's correct. It's a very wonderful question you have given me. Well, I will say imagination is nothing without doing. Again, back to Charlie Chaplin. Imagination is nothing without doing. You have to do it. Now, how? Some people will think out of senses, mad. If you talk to yourself, but yes, Swami Vivekananda's line, talk to yourself once in a day. Otherwise, you will miss meeting the most excellent person in the world. You are the most excellent person, dear. You're the beautiful soul. You still have an innocent mind. Whether you're 7 year or 17 or 70, doesn't matter. You are still a beautiful soul. And just nurture that soul. And the five sense organs for imagination, the sense organs of touch, taste, smell, looking. It has to be on the highest plane. It has to be on a higher side. If you just catapult it, how will it happen? Sit with nature, talk to flowers, look at the vast blue sky. Of course, I don't have it right now, but at least I can imagine that my lights are my sky. So I can talk to them anytime I wish. I can think that tomorrow's morning sun will again bring me more source of imagination. It will pour more ideas into me. It will pour more happiness. I will curve my lips to smile. And that is the best curve I can have. So with imagination and with a blending of spices, a child, of course, with knowledge is another thing. When you mix all these things together, for sure something good is going to, terribly good is going to come out, You will just shot it at one go. Books are a great source, learning and reading. No knowledge will ever go in vain. So mix that imagination with books, with reading, with learning, with experience. Observe things wherever you go. Observe the things, Even when I sit on the chair, I talk to it. I imagine. I just say that thank you that is giving me a comfortable life. I imagine talking to the chair and I can just write at least 10 minutes non-stop. I can write few lines with me conversing to the chair.
Interesting.
I thank my life.
And the way you do your wordplay, I mean, I am totally mesmerized listening to you.
Thank you. But there should be, there should be room for us. There should be room for us in our own quiet self. When we are not talking to anybody else, we are talking to ourselves. It's very important. Because nowadays, yes, emotionally we have to be dependent, but nothing is a must. Over dependence on anything is wrong. So you should suffice. When we say independent, it doesn't only mean that you are earning, you have a good job, but also independent in your thoughts and you give rise to that. And imagination is one independent thought where you make yourself stand out of the crowd.
So, as Dorothy Nolte said, children do learn what they live, and then they grow up to live what they have learned. So, what is the role of parenting and the schooling in the life of a child to help them grow naturally?
It's a very important question again. Whenever we talk about kids, parents and school are always an inclusive environment. We cannot talk anything without them, without mentioning them. There are, of course, varied points again, many points. I would surely want to mention the most important ones. If I go to schooling, school is the most important place. It's a building block of the students. They just go, it's not only a building, it has teachers, it has other variety of things that they get. They get enjoyment, they get colors, they get games, whatnot. But the schooling should not be confined into a room. Right now, there are many different, several policies that have come up, several kind of, art integration, teaching with that, cognitive learning, and several other kinds of learning where students are pushed to think, pushed to do something beyond the syllabus. Yet, if they go out of the classroom and just into the field, they start learning in a playground. They can at least learn the length and breadth of a playground. This will fulfill mathematics. They can play with the ball and just talk about the circumference. They can also, literature teacher can easily take up a drama of Shakespeare, for example, As You Like It. It's all about nature. Some children are so good, they are multi-talented in different tasks. We just have to sparkle them, give them the spark. Some playing the Casio synthesizer in the background. There should be some 10 to 12 people who will act. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect in that role, but once you start trying, you will have that interest, and interest will put you into the habit of living every day to the fullest, to the maximum. You live your life to the maximum, and thus school will be an interesting place for them. No, mommy, tomorrow I cannot miss school, I have to go. Tomorrow I have so and so, As You Like It. Day after tomorrow, some history enactment. So all these things will make the routine work less monotonous. All these things will make them more interesting, more involved in the work actually. They will be engrossed into what we have learned, and it will not be a source of learning. They will immediately remember the characters of As You Like It. They will immediately remember the dates of history, the names, Babar, Humayun, and whatnot. We just have to channelize them and find the ways. So if I talk about parents now, we all agree parents are the utmost important beings in a child's life. A child, when they go to preschool, they have their Montessori teachers as guidance. Then secondary, then senior secondary, then college level. Different ideas step into their lives and create different kinds of magic. But parents, from the first day to the last, they are never-ending source of inspiration and encouragement. Not only a school or a college or a good admission is enough. Sitting with them, talking to them, every day giving just an hour's time or more is always welcome. For that, they also need some habits, some discipline. Parents need to give in to their child the thought, if you cannot go outside, they cannot have a burger always, they cannot go to a restaurant or a shopping mall. But then what can they do else? They have to think of that. And parent is the only way who can think of proper parenting. And there are no tips to this. You have to find out. They have to find it out. They have to find out that sitting, let's play a proverb game today. Come on. In English, if you say Rome is not built in a day, what is the same proverb in your own mother language? Do you know that? What is the name of your station of your native village? Do you remember that? There will be so many things, indoor games, Ludo, Carom, so many other. Just sit and talk to each other. You will be a parent who has to be a good listener. Also, when the student comes and says nowadays, they are really getting sometimes bored with the work that comes up, piles up, online study, through online studies. When they don't do a work, when they don't complete something, they miss it. Parents should not shout. Parents should not scold them and just ward away off their duties. They should instead tell them the way out. Because once you shout and scold, they will stop coming to you. These young minds will stop coming to you. So just talk about everything possible under the sun, Talk about books, you talk about good recipes, you talk about food. It should be a mixture again of spices. It should be some sweet, some sour, some jaggery. Everything should be mixed together in those recipes when you talk with them. It should be so interesting that parents should also forget for some time that there is something called smartphone in front of me. There's something called a big television screen. We used to earlier call it, with some other name. really, it was very funny for us. But just avoid those things. And once you get into the spree of talking, like a waterfall, words will come. Ideas will flow in. Students will never feel bored or rejected. Because parents also are very busy with their work. They are also working from home. They don't know how to sometimes balance between work and home. They even sometimes Saturday midnight, Sunday, they just utilize their day, they think, by working. It's important. It's your bread and butter. It's important, especially now we understand the importance of a job. But then both things being balanced, life will be filled with happiness. At least you cannot deny that.
So I was just listening to your conversation about the schooling part, and then it reminded me Rabindranath Tagore, he started this open air classroom, Shantiniketan.
Natural reading, yes.
And it is still going on. But why it was not emulated in a big way across the country? Why it remained confined to Shantiniketan? Why people did not subscribe to this idea?
Shanti, yes, the place of peace, Niketan, the home of peace, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where knowledge is free. But actually, people cannot adopt this in everyday life. We are under a custom of a board. We are under a custom of an institution called school, called college. We are under there are so many sub-branches to this. And there had been only one Rabindranath Tagore, the first Asian to get the Nobel Prize. One Tagore, and I would wish there would be more who would start with this natural study.
But he rolled out the concept. It was there for people to emulate, to bring about the holistic development in children. Okay, if not that model, how do we bring out the holistic development in children otherwise?
Well, holistic development, if we say, yes, of course. Again, it's a wholesome development. If I take the word holistic, wholesome, developing the intellectual, the mental, the physical, emotional, and social abilities. So if you start with the intellectual abilities, I think that just comes a little late. Rather, we can start with the physical abilities. If I talk about, physically being fit, exercise, right now there are so many gyms and all sorts of things, swimming, and parents are sending them. But what we miss is we don't talk to them about PT Usha. We don't talk always to them about Milkha Singh. We don't talk to them about different other sports stars and how did they discipline their lives. This is one important task, disciplining. If you discipline one thing, it shouldn't be that you should be inside a classroom, you need an air conditioning classroom, air conditioned classroom. But yes, there should be a discipline in your thoughts. But what do the children, what do the even adults of today we do? We just see the sports, the cricket match, and we see the team winning. We see the after effects of the win. Most of the reactions that come, that it's so wonderful life for them. They have a posh life, the wonderful place to stay. They just stay near the sea beach. They have countries to visit. But behind that visit, the hard work that they have, the sweat that they have, it is a whole lot of discipline. This is one thing the child should understand. And it is not a thing that they understand only in a day, only in one day. Again, coming to the interacting part, emotional part. Nature is the best friend. Nature is the best friend to create more and more emotion, to enhance your emotion. Doesn't mean you will be so emotional, you will just cry at little things, tears will keep on flowing. But you can't be that emotional that you can be empathetic. You can think about others, you can help others, you can help your mother, you can help your father at their work. You should be independent in this way too, that when you wish, you can make your bread and butter. You can just serve your mother an omelette. You can make nice tea and coffee. There's no harm. So we all are independent in our thoughts. In this way, you should be independent. That you help your mother, you take out their social abilities of helping your neighbors. We keep on reading them. Like we see the doctors, they're working. They're working again with a mission. They're working with a mission to cure patients. The scientists working with a mission to bring out success in vaccination drive. So different people, everybody, teachers also working with a mission that we shall overcome. Someday we will meet the students again. So why not take it as a holistic here in every part? You just have to give time in 24 hours into 7 days. Think what more you have to do, what better you can do for yourself, not for others, but for yourself. You will see the betterment will not always be the technology. The betterment will not always be sitting bored and just doing nothing and cribbing or complaining. This is the emotional part I was speaking about, or the social part I'm speaking about, and intellectual or mental abilities. If I go into the intellectual and mental part, take for example, we take Stephen Hawking. What a wonderful man he had lived. We just read that it was scheduled for him as if the doctors had just written the horoscope. He is not going to live after a certain age, young age. But then he had done something great that we all are speaking about him today. So those people, they have just broken those barriers. How? Mentally. If you hear APJ Abdul Kalam speaking, just chant yourself to yourself 5 times. I am great. I'm going to achieve something good. I am doing something good. I have done it. Just these 5 things every day, make it your mantra. And what do you want to achieve? You will never see
Affirmation. That's positive affirmation.
positive affirmations. Yes, there's so many things, visualization people do right nowadays. But overall, if you think that gratitude is the best attitude, with all these things, slowly you will understand, you will channelize yourself. The child will understand what is intellectual. Intellectual doesn't mean only to be brainy, only to know about the theories and the theorems, only to, just drag out yourself from the routine and go into an good college or IIT, just get a great score in those things where you need. Of course, you want comfort. That's good. You want that degree. That's fine. But then, are you really intellectually thinking high? Is your mental stability really at a good pace? Or are you at a fire after some time you're getting depressed? The moment you get depressed, you understand you have to again raise up. You have to again wait for the morning sun. A day without laughter is a day wasted. And with that, you just think before going to bed every day. If a child thinks, if a parent pushes the child, the parent just sits together and think, today, the entire day, how did I work? Did I utilize my day properly? Yes or no? They will get answers. How did they utilize? They will see just the picture like a television screen coming in front of them. From waking up, some wake up at 6, exercising, walking. Some wake up at 10. They're always short of time, they're running. So they will always get a screen in front of them, whatever done. Oh no, today I just woke up at 9, it was not good. Tomorrow, sure for 8. So
Yeah,
1 hour.
reflection is
Yes,
important.
yes, this is very important for a holistic attitude, a wholesome attitude, and you are the only one who can push us. There is no other driving force. You cannot give the steering of your car to somebody else and tell him, come on, start driving and drive smooth. Okay, I'll sit here. No, 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 don't crash. No, there's a tree. Come on, left, right. You cannot do that. You have to sit on your steering if you want to get that control of your own car. If you want to keep your own car safe and sound, you have to do that. You have to learn the driving the best way possible. This is what I think.
As Nelson Mandela said, the children are our greatest treasure and they are our future. So, as you talked about holistic development, the role of school and parenting, and now in this given scenario, given circumstances, where even the basic freedom of stepping out of the home is also difficult. The homebound children, what can a parent or the parents do, to help the children tide over this home lock situation and still be maintaining their sanity as well as progressing on their growth path?
Again, I will suggest them to maintain a good routine. Though not always, routine doesn't mean monotony. Routine means what you like, you will do. That doesn't also mean indiscipline. You wake up, do light exercise, do meditation, be meditative. It will take you to a thoughtless zone where you can be only with yourself. You can understand, is there light in my life? What kind of progress should I do more? Where should I proceed? Right side or the left? There will be always difficulties. Not a single day had been without stress, be it this pandemic or no. But if I talk about P.D. Shelley, if winter comes, can spring be far behind? Just think of
Yeah,
that. Let them
nice.
think of this line. Let them think of this line. After the after the deep darkness, there's always the sunrise. There's always sunrise. There's always the bright blue sky again coming back. Nature hasn't stopped moving. The sun is still rising. Our globe on the axis is still tilted. It's still rotating. Thus, we are getting the day and the night. Water is still flowing without any complaint, without any bickering. We should be thankful for those things. We should be thankful. Gratitude is the best attitude every day, saying, thank you, universe, that you have given me the food to eat. Thank you, universe, that I'm sitting today and seeing the bright blue sky. It's very important that you have a connection with nature. So if you connect with nature, you will see the soft breeze will touch you, will talk to you. How? Oh, they will come and say me good morning, hello. No, they won't. But they will of course reply. A flower will, blossom beautifully. If you just talk to the rose, it will blossom beautifully. The plant will look more greener. You will think, oh, for a long time I did not water them at all. My father had always said me to water the plants. Let me try it today. You will see there's an inner happy feeling that will come within you. And no outside agent can help you that. That is all inside. That is the force that you can create inside. So go with Ludo, go with playing caroms, indoor games again. Talk to your parents, talk to your friends sometimes. Of course, we always have the phone by our side, but don't make it a habit. Don't make this phone a habit so that it doesn't become a habit, at least in this vacation. Nelson Mandela, he was there as the president. He was inaugurated as the president of the country in the month of May. So, as May is a bright summer month, we consider. So, therefore, in this brightness, just don't lose your brightness within. Just don't lose your spirit within. Be always filled with mirth and gay. Laugh, keep laughing within yourself. Be happy. Laughter
So,
doesn't.
viewers, I hope you are loving this conversation, and I want something from you right now. Why don't you tell us what is that one thing that you do to help your child come over this situation? Give us a tip, share a tip right now, right here. And those who are watching for the first time, do subscribe, stay notified by pressing the bell icon, and keep posting in your comments. Coming back to your phone question, Lagnajita, you said the phone is nearby, handy, and not only the phone, there's a lot of internet content, the digital content. Okay, even the studies are happening through that. But then alongside studies, there is a lot of consumption of bogus internet content by the children. Now, how can we, I mean, I don't say control, I don't like the word control, but what can we do to help the child to distinguish and to arrive at the discretion what is good for them and what is not?
Too much exposure, I would say. The word that is too much of
Yeah,
exposure.
so much exposure.
Yes. So if we take the word exposure on itself, we will see that it's something harmful. Exposure actually means something harmful. When doctors suggest use sunscreen, don't expose your skin to the sun. Use the sunscreen. So here we don't have that sunscreen. Otherwise, just to give a mineral sunscreen or something alloy added to it. The more we buy, a new brand has come up. Our sunscreen will be our eyes. Our sunscreen will be our sense organs only. Again, back to that. Your sense organs have to be always very strongly understanding, very strongly relatable to what you are doing. You should be very alert. You should be alert and just give yourself time. Routine yourself. Make a fixed time. This is my time to use the technology. Of course, there are always pros and cons to everything. Technology has immensely given us a lot of help, undeniably. Booking tickets, shopping things, groceries that come to home, we're just ordering through an app and all. So this is the greatest benefit that we have from technology. We never used to think this. Neither our grandparents leave that. Even our parents never thought that some child can sit and have a class, have school through a technology. But we are doing that. We are even covered that. We have just crossed that boundary. We have opened those doors. Now, when so much is open to you, give this 20-minute break, walk out, just walk around and see what is happening. Lightly walking and talking yourself. Take some ground nuts, no problem. Just dance and spree and music and listen to light violin and piano, whatever you like. Come back. Sit, work, stop it. As you finish, just say full stop for today. But what happens? There are so many enchantments for us. For example, WhatsApp. For example, there are so many other things that people come in, they do some live shows or some other things, A, B, C, D, there are so many things that I see a child, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. The students just say that the neighborhood children, they just discuss. So what is the time limit they have? There's no time limit. And because the parents have allowed that, sometimes parents also do the same. In one room, it's the parents surfing their phone. Another room, there's the child surfing the phone. So how long can you do that surfing? Okay, fine. Then ask them, what did you learn today from surfing your phone? They will say good stories. They will of course tell your friends have posted something, somebody has written something. There are of course good thoughts written on the channels also on Google also. We get so many things to learn. Let's discuss. Let's have a competition. Come on, a WhatsApping competition. Tomorrow morning, you tell me a thought that comes to your mind through mobile. I'll tell you mine. And then see, it will lead to knowledge. You will think, yes, what is the thought I read? Some 2 words I remember. What is the thought I read? Okay, today, this is the month of May. Some eminent personalities' birthday. Coming up is June, July, August. Just think of this. This will, give them a source that they will not use it either for fear or for, again, boring part is again study something. It's better I don't use it for some time. Because others are controlling you. When you're just surfing the phone, you are reading what others are sending. Are you really sending something of your own creativity, or are you just forwarding? When we do not accept an old dress and just don't wear it a third or a fourth time, we think it's now old. I shouldn't go to my friend's birthday party wearing the same yellow dress. I should buy another black one. Or there are themes. There are everything they think of this creativity. Let's have a theme. Let's have some black and red color. Let's something blue. Let's have a cloudy theme. So why don't you bring out your own theme? Why do you take others forwarded things? Why do you accept that? They don't think this. So they have to push to be thinking. Their thoughtfulness should come out more. And again, it will only come when people are together, they're discussing, when some sort of knowledge is always good. When some sort of knowledge that comes up, 100 walls of good books, hundreds beautiful stories there are, especially of children. If they read something like Roald Dahl, if they read something like Wonderful Wizard of Oz, if they read even Enid Blyton, and now fantasy. They like fantasy, J.K. Rowling, but she has created something. She hasn't accepted others. She has created for her own self. And we know how many times she had been rejected for her stories. Her stories were rejected. They were not liked. But you don't stop. Only then you become something like J.K. Rowling. Only then you become a Roald Dahl. Only then you become, innumerous names. You forward, you type a wonderful good morning message, The morning sun mesmerizes me, the red hibiscus enchants me. What more? Just a sip and a tea, sip with a tea. Just give this something, give something to them.
Sip and talk, as you said.
Sip and talk, yes, sure.
So to sum it up, I would like to hear from you. What are the three things one should do to help their child grow beautifully? As you say, the children don't have to be molded, but they just have to be unfolded.
Yes.
So what are the three things every parent must do?
Well, I would say perseverance and persistence. You will surely find progress. And parents need to, teachers, parents, whoever it is, need to decode the words persistence, perseverance, and progress. It is not an easy thing because there is no shortcut to success. And there are some people, some minds, some young minds who have this trend of thinking that, he is a school dropout, but still he's a billionaire today. He did not have to study. But they don't understand that it's a never-ending process. Learning is something that is never-ending, a lifelong process it is. So whoever has been a billionaire, he had to learn his technique. He had to learn his technique to find out his own self-esteem, to make his own discovery, be it a car or a laptop or a mobile or any other thing. They had to learn a lot. They had to indeed go through many other hard steps to fulfill that and find progress. So these things, success don't come in one day, as Rome wasn't built in a day, and there is no shortcut to success. So therefore, with honesty and hard work, you will surely reach your goal and you will progress. You will become a proper good human being who will be, standing out in the crowd, who will be acclaimed by all, who will be appreciated by the onlookers. And no matter what, you will just give a shape to your dreams.
Thank you. They were beautiful insights, and thank you for sharing them with our viewers here. We are honored to have you on this show today. I hope you enjoyed being here too.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, I did enjoy. I'm just on cloud nine, I would say, to have been able to express my own feelings, my own thoughts. Hope the young kids go through the book, GOOGLY, IMPU, CHIMPU, laugh a lot, and also stay away as much as possible from unwanted things and rather mold themselves to find their own future in their own way.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Namaste.